It's the 11th of January 2019. I'm here at Quarndon Cricket Club. I'm David Griffin. I'm talking to
Chris Storr,
Bev Sanders,
Dave Hibberd.
Gentlemen, we talked at great length in previous interviews about the history of the club and where Quarndon's come from and where it is now. I know you've got a magnificent set of grounds actually, 2 grounds, category A plus grounds, but they didn't arrive by accident. So what was the process to get you from being a field, if you like, and I think in one previous interview somebody talked about a goat and a roller being the only items of equipment on the ground. So how did you get to develop the ground? What was the process?
Well, it's in small steps, I think, is the starting point. My recollection of the first major development of the ground was to level the ground, because we're very steep escarpment down at the bottom end of the ground. And that was levelled with the ambition of our chairman at the time, a guy called Peter Siddle, who thought it was the best thing for us to do. He had connections with Leedale Construction, and we managed to take all the top surface off, and thousands of lorries came through the village, levelled it, and we managed to achieve it. It was a very ambitious project, but his attitude at the time was, if we make a mess, we've got to put it right, and he forced the club to make it happen.
Yeah. So was that done in a closed season? Was that all done in
one closed season?
Really?
Yeah. It was a frightening project, and our groundsmen lost a lot of sleep through the process. But we managed to achieve it. The first year or so was a bit rough down the bottom.
Struggle at the beginning, didn't you, with the drainage? Because obviously these things, however well you plan it, it doesn't always work out.
No.
But we got there in the end.
We did.
And when was this? When would this been, Chris? What year?
Oh, when was this? Mid 2000 and maybe just past 2000,
right.
Something like that.
And do you think the ground could have got its category A plus without that levelling up?
It really was quite a steep drop down into the far corner.
You're standing
before
down in the bottom corner, and you couldn't see the batsman. Well, you could just about see the top of the pads. Yeah, so it was quite interesting.
So a lot of voluntary work, presumably, went into that as well.
Yeah. And there was some funding support from the chairman at the time. We were going to seed the surface, but then it got so late we had to turf it. So we got some support from Talbot Turf. But as with a lot of the projects we've embarked upon, we've relied on goodwill of people, members, club officials, and local beneficiaries who would donate in kind as opposed to in cash.
What about the pavilion? Because this is a pretty modern pavilion, and it's got lots of facilities.
Not quite as modern as you think.
It's not as modern as you'd think.
Yeah, we've got loose plans really. We've had loose plans for a long time to move this on, but I guess this is sort of phase 3 really. Malcolm Stewart talked when you interviewed them earlier when it was there was a tea room and 2 dressing rooms in it. It was wooden shed. And the clubhouse, really, the bar was the joiners, and then would it be 1971? I think when we built and took a Nissen hut and developed the bar area, and then that kind of became run down, and Pete Siddall again. We did a redevelopment of the clubhouse, put the new Bentley bar in, and that's when I think. Viv Richards came to open the new bar, I think. Can't remember.
Right, so how did you get? I mean, with the greatest respect, we're talking about a village club, which it won the village championship in 1983, but you managed to get Viv Richards, one of the greatest batsmen in the game's history.
Oh, I think that was John Morris.
Yeah, at
Morris
the time John was connected with the club. His lad Tom Morris was playing for us, and John spent a lot of time up here coaching. Working with Tom and watching Tom play, and got sort of involved in the club. He was on the committee for a while, and John is, as you know, fairly well connected, and he said, I'll get somebody into...
Yeah, and Viv happened to be in the country. He was doing some business with John, and he just happened to say, look, you can get him if you want him. Shall we try? And we made an event of it. So
if you want him.
If we want him, yeah. So we had to hurriedly finish the refurbishment. In time for Viv to arrive, which when he came down for a few hours one Friday night.
What was that like then? You all get to meet him and talk to him?
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. Yeah, incredible handshake.
Yeah,
but he's just solid. Yeah. Just
built like a middleweight.
Oh yeah. But I mean, he was very impressed. I think we got quite a few of the families in on the night, and I think he played at. Lancashire, where did he play, Chris?
Rishton, I think.
Rishton. Yeah. And he said it was lovely, because that was a family club as well, and he looked round, and he was quite impressed that we've got all different age groups here.
A few autographs and photographs that night.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, I've already said that it's quite remarkable that a small club like village club like Quarndon gets Viv Richards, one of the greatest cricketers of all time, but actually we got an even greater cricketer than that. So you perhaps tell me who the other famous player was that came and what the circumstances were.
Sir Garfield. Yeah.
Sir Garfield Sober. So what was the basis of his
That was a
visit
connection through our chairman at the time, Gary McBride. I think through a connection at Kedleston Golf Club.
Right.
And I think he was playing golf there that particular day, and he'd worked it so that we could spend an hour or two here. And he was here for what, 2-3 hours probably.
And was this just a passing visit then, or was it to
yeah,
open
he was
something?
here to play golf at Kedleston, an annual or a biannual event.
Yeah.
Through a connection with the Kedleston Golf Club, and our chairman was playing golf with him. He just invited him up. It was just something good for the club. There was no specific reason for him to be here, other than we just came to say hello and talk to a few people.
Sat at the bar talking to us, just like we're talking now. Yeah, very easy chap to talk to. I mean, it was one of the first Test matches I ever went to see, and he was playing for the West Indies at Old Trafford in 1963. And I used to get the Wisden annual, and I'd got the 64 one with all the 5 cricketers of the year, and I'd got it there, and I was desperate for him to autograph it. Yeah. And he said, do you want me to sign something? And I said, oh, do you mind? You know, and he, I'll sign it for you. But he was really wonderful, great bloke, great all round. And he came, I think, the year after,
I think 2 years later, because they did a biannual trip over here.
He used to get Bashir Hussain.
Bashir Hassan.
Bash was his chauffeur.
Yeah, still is.
Yeah, oh, he still is.
Well, you saw him at Trembridge 2 years ago, and Bashir was driving.
The second time he came, it was a very hot day, and I think again they'd been playing golf, and Bash looked as if he'd just about had enough, and they didn't take quite as long.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was.
That's
great.
Wonderful.
And then we also had Steve Armisen to open their new nets down at the bottom end of the ground.
So how did you get
John Morris?
Steve to,
Again through John. So that was a specific. We'd done a project to put some nets in place.
That's a big undertaking, though, Chris.
It is.
To say you're going to set some. How many?
2 lanes.
2 lane outdoor nets.
Surfaces. Yeah, we had nets at the far side of the ground which were in need of repair or replacement. So we embarked upon a project. Again, we used local craftsmen. Nick Goodwin was a player at the time, who was in building. We're very fortunate to have Steve Hollis, who's in the building trade. So we've just been fortunate to have tradesmen who've been able to do things free of charge, effectively.
And what year was this when Hollis
2004.
Yeah, his shirt's up there.
Yeah.
Right, so he was at the height of his powers, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a big
year before the Ashes win and everything.
So we made a big day of that, an opening. We tried to make a bit of revenue out of that. Had some, all the kids up here. It was a Sunday, wasn't it? It was a good day.
John Morris was up here last year, and actually he was looking round, and he looked at that shirt and he said, "Is it 2004?
Yeah, 2004.
He said, "Is it that long ago?" Yeah.
We're all getting older. Bev, you touched earlier on possible another phase of ground development. So what sort of plans would you envisage for the?
Well, you've said earlier on you think this is quite. We think this could do with some refurbishment. The dressing rooms are a bit small. The umpires, the ladies' toilets are down at the far end. We could, it's not a very pleasant walk at 9-10 o'clock at night. The whole thing needs rejigging and upgrading, and the flooring needs replacing, that kind of thing. So I can't see us being in a position to completely redevelop, but I'd like to think we could take it forward and refurbish and improve the facilities for both the players, umpires, and the drinkers, eaters.
But the pavilion for the second ground, Steve and his son Kev Hollis, I think they did it more or less over a winter, didn't they?
They built it through a winter.
Yeah. I mean, there's pictures of Kevin on. Is it Boxing Day?
That's coming.
Yeah. Perhaps the children will get on his nerves, but they did a fantastic job, really. I mean, it's.
And again, we're very lucky to have them to be able to do it. And
but we also got other.
Yeah, Gary McBride at the time was chairman. He was in concrete, so we provided a lot of concrete bases, and we begged, stole, and borrowed from various people to provide windows, timber, etc. and managed to do it at very little cost to the club.
It's better. It's better than the first
Yeah,
team.
and the
First
changing
team.
facilities now put the front to shame.
Yeah.
So this redevelopment of this building would be probably the final stage of development of the two grounds. But it's taken us a long time to get to this stage.
Well, I like it, Bev, because when you walk in, it feels like a cricket pavilion because you're surrounded by your.
Don't worry, we won't turn it into some sort of wine bar or anything like that.
That's the best bit about it. Well, gentlemen, I know you're just 3 of 8 contributors tonight, but I'd like to thank all of you for your recollections and stories about Quarndon Cricket Club. It seems to me that they're still in good hands. So you've been going since 1884, so you're coming up to 140 years or so. So here's to the next 140. Gentlemen, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Cheers, Dave. Thank you.